Welcome back to Watches, Whiskeys, and Wines, my friends. Today, we're going to learn about something interesting here with Glenmorangie. I've been doing a series. I've done a 10-year. I've also done a Glenmorangie Signet, which is like one of the higher end bottles. And now I'm doing a 12-year. And of course, I'm going to do a few other bottles as well. And I'm going to bring the whole series together. But today, we're looking at the Lasanta. And this is going to be something interesting. The color is amazing. Can't wait to share it with you. If we're going to start off, I'm going to give you a little bit of details about the company like I normally do. I'm going to tell you about their history, and then we're going to look at the presentation. Then we're going to talk about what's inside of the bottle. We're going to nose it. We're going to taste it, put it on the palate, see what we think. I'm going to give you my final thoughts, and I'm even going to make you a cocktail. Now, am I going to make cocktails in every episode? No, I'm not going to do that. But I would like to have some cocktails for the lower tier whiskeys because that's okay. You know, there's nothing wrong with sipping it straight, sipping it neat like I normally do. But you're also allowed to make cocktails every once in a while. It's your whiskey. You do whatever you want. So I'm going to show you some different ideas, and we're going to play around and see how we feel about it. So I want you to sit back and relax, pour yourself a nice drink, and let's get started. I'm going to give you a little bit of a summary of Glenmorangie. 175-year history, old company. Been doing it for a long time. They've got the experience, they've got the knowledge, and they impart that on everything they create, and I think that's amazing. Actually, Dr. Bill Lumsden, who's the director of whiskey creation at Glenmorangie, is the one who came up with this, and he calls it the Lasanta. And that means warmth and passion Gaelic, which is cool. It's a cool idea, something that I appreciate, something I enjoy because I like warmth and passion. That's the kind of person I think I am. You know, he was thinking about the Highlands, he was thinking about sunsets, he was thinking about the deep reds and the purples and everything you see, and that's what made him come up with the idea for this. It gets aged initially in ex-bourbon casks, which gives it that great flavor that comes from ex-bourbon casks. And then it's finished in the sherry oak cask. And I think they're Oloroso. So Jimenez Oloroso. So it's a really good sherry, and it's going to give it a lot of color. Let's take a look at this presentation here and see how we feel. I like it. I like the red. I think it's great. And it really matches what's inside of the package. So you're going to see that here in a minute. And it says the Lasanta. And it also has a 12-year age on it. Bourbon and sherry casks. Rich, spicy, and sweet with notes of raisins, honeycomb, chocolate-covered hazelnuts, and cinnamon. So hazelnuts, that's kind of odd to me. So I stopped there for a second. Hazelnuts. That's going to be rich and woody and a strong texture, so I'm looking forward to that. On the back it says the Lasanta, 12 years aged in bourbon and sherry cask. If you could bottle a sunset, it would taste like the Lasanta, an endless horizon of rich spice and sun-drenched sweetness radiating with notes of raisins, honeycomb, and cinnamon. Delicious by design. You know, of course, it's got their same thing that they always have on the back with the little giraffe, and, it shows they're still obviously the tallest in the game, 16 feet, 10 inches. It's something that they do. It makes them unique, and that's what you see every single time you go to either a distiller or you go to a winemaker. Sometimes even, watchmakers as well. But there's a lot when it comes to creating spirits and creating wines that physical part of it, that tech they use is important. And the tech that they use here is these really tall stills. And what that means is as it's escaping, as it's, going through the distillation process, it has a lot more of pushback when it gets to the top and it comes down. It gets to the top and it comes down. That allows for it to impart a different type of unique flavor into it. And that's what we're going to have here in Glenmorangie. We craft our more delicate, fruity spirit in stills as tall as a giraffe to create more space for taste and aroma. Next, we age this whiskey in bourbon and sherry cask for a lush, award-winning burst of flavor. Love it. And of course, you got the little QR code. I like that. I like what they're doing now with these kind of things. I think it should be as engaging as it possibly can. And you should learn more too. Don't just drink to drink to enjoy, share it with people, make an experience. Look at that color. Wow. This right here. Didn't expect that. That's very, very dark. I mean, it looks like I would say a dark amber, but almost to the point of being ruby or maybe garnet. Love it. I think it really matches the design on the exterior, and I think that Dr. Bill Lumsden really, really encapsulated what he had in his mind in the Lasanta, at least on presentation. So when we get to the tasting, we'll find out. The label itself, lovely. Looks very similar to the 10-year aged. Of course, the 10 years like a yellow or a gold. This one right here is like more of a red, very nice dark red. That reminds me of a sunset. And it says the Lasanta. And of course, it just has the same thing here as it had on the box. and it's bottling at sunset. That's basically what they're saying. So I'm going to go ahead and open it. And we're just going to go ahead and dive right in. Of course, it's got the foil that protects it, but it's really nice how they've done these corks. Let's see. Nice. That was a good pop. Okay. Light again, just like the 10-year. But I like what they've done with the cork. I like how they made it look like it's part of the package with this red. Very nice. Let's go ahead and pour it, see what we think. It loses a little bit of color when it comes out of the bottle. Now it looks a lot more brown, but it's still amber. It smells great. You get that sherry, you get that oak. Very sweet. Sugar. Yeah. Yeah, a lot of sweet. A lot of sweetness. And that chocolate. No, don't get the chocolate. Hazelnut. Maybe I get a little woodsiness, but not much. No. Let's put it on the palate and let's see what we think. Very nice. Almost like a bourbon, but acidic. A little bit of a burn. On the smoothness, I'd probably put this on a 4 or 5. I like smooth alcohol. Look, age affects that. It just does. You know, when something's given more time, as the summer, winter months just continue to do what they do, the expansion, contraction, you know, it allows for the angel share and also allows for mellowness. So if it's younger, it just it hasn't had that much time. So it's got a little bit of a bite to it. But it lingers. On the palate, a lot of sweetness. Not much of a burn in the mouth, but I do get it as it's going down. Just enough lingering to where you feel good about it, and it makes you kind of want to take another sip to see if it's going to develop a little more. And I think it did develop a little more the second time around. I wouldn't say chocolate, but I would say woodsy, almost like a hazelnut, a little bit of creaminess. So nice. Let's go ahead and pull out our pairings and see what we think. So I've got a few different ones here. This is an almond biscotti. This is like a corn nut. These are the ranch version. I like that. I thought it would probably go pretty well with this. And then I've got a dark chocolate from Saltis, which is located in Bolivia. And this has nibs of cafe in it. So like little tiny pieces of cafe, of coffee inside of it. So I'm going to go with the chocolate first because I love chocolate. Let's see. Oh, once the coffee hit, yeah, that was great. Let's see, let's go with a little bit of the crunchiness, a bit of saltiness from the ranch. Actually, a pretty decent combination. Let's try this biscotti. I think this is going to go best with it, but let's see. Yeah. They complement each other very well. You know, this has a lot of creaminess to it, a little bit of a burn. The cinnamon that they were talking about is there, and that for sure needs that, so it complements it very well. I'm going to get this out of the way, and I'm going to make us a cocktail. You know, like I said, when you make your whiskey, you do it however you want. You bought the bottle, you can do whatever you want. I know people think there's a right way and a wrong way to drink whiskey, but I disagree. I put water in some of my whiskeys if I feel like it. I soften it up. I put small drops of water in there if I want to bloom it. Up to me. It's my decision. All right. So number one, a lot of ice. You should always have a lot of ice. There's nothing wrong with a bunch of ice. Make sure to put it in there. We're gonna do 2 ounces of the whiskey. In this case, the Glenmorangie 12-year, the Lasanta. Of course, I'm adding a little bit more because I don't think you should just go with the 2. I think you should go a little more heavy. I'm going to give it a small little mix. That's what I like to do. I like to make sure that I give every bit of ice a lot of love. I'm then going to go ahead and cut my lemon. All right, pull out any seeds because, of course, you do not want seeds to enter into your drink and add some weird bitterness that I never liked. So always remove them. Of course, I softened it up really well, so now it's going to come out pretty easily. That's why you soften up the lime or the lemon before you get started. All right. Plenty of it in now. Another nice little spin. All right. Now we're going to go ahead and hit it with our carbonated water. In this case, I'm using Topo Chico because I love Topo Chico. We're in Texas, so why would you not do that? You see that? And the fizz is nice. Just great for summer day or even the springtime. The smell is great. A little bit of whiskey, a little bit of a kick. Give it a little more. You always want to kind of put a little bit at the top because then it brings that fragrance in. It brings that nice smell. Then we're going to go ahead and hit it with a little bit of a garnish on the side of the lemon. Let's see what we think. Love it. It's delicious. Something I recommend. I want to thank you for joining me again today. I hope that you learned a little bit more about Glenmorangie. I hope that you learned a little bit about this sherry cask version of Glenmorangie 12-year. Make a nice cocktail every once in a while. You can do it with whiskey if you want to. I did this with a 12-year of Dewar's as well. So I wanted to do it with the 12-year of Glenmorangie to kind of give it something to compare to. And maybe we could do a comparison video later on. This is going to be part of a series that's going to compare a bunch of different Glenmorangie, I think a 10-year, a 12-year, 14-year, and then also the Nectar Sautins. I think that's what it is. And then we're going to probably talk about this Glenmorangie Signet as well. So please join me again. Like, subscribe, share. Let other people know about the channel. That's how this support helps it grow. Comment. Let me know if there's anything else you want to learn about. Thank you very much for joining me.